Welcome to another basic character guide where I go over the general use of a character and skills you may prioritize over others. Today we'll be looking at Lightning, definitely a really awkward unit, kind of a headache to get her to do what you want her to do. So hopefully with this video I will help alleviate some of that headache, and specifically for this video I will show you my PvP setup and how I get her to use both her buffs. But before we start, I do want to say that if you are enjoying these videos, supporting the channel in any way is definitely helpful. If you want to make any donations, my PayPal will be in the description and it would be greatly appreciated. Looking at her main job, Barrier Buster is kind of self-explanatory, breaks physical barriers, definitely a skill that you'd rather have and not need than vice versa. Life Siphon is definitely her most powerful AoE attack. It will raise her defense pin before she actually lands the attack. She will get 15 AP per person killed. But something else to keep in mind is that it does go off of missile damage, so if you're building for slash or anything like that, you're not really going to be getting the full benefit of this skill. And if you're really trying to play her without any form of AP restore, this is going to be detrimental to her build. But something else to keep in mind is that this is a skill that's better off as a follow-up. So you do want to run her with somebody that's either ahead of her or possibly faster than her, that's setting up a chain, and then she comes and cleans up and is able to actually get the AP restore from that. You might turn this off, but generally I wouldn't recommend that. Relentless Assault is a really powerful skill. Raising agility and accuracy can be very crucial, and although the accuracy can be kind of niche sometimes depending on who you're fighting, the only way I see you turning this off is if you're running her in PvE. Maybe you want her to have more AP at the start, but generally for PvP this is an absolute must. Really important to her kit and really important to kind of getting her to do what you want her to do. Spark Strike, for what it is actually pretty decent. Lowering slash resistance is pretty good. It's also a really good PvE skill, lowering slash damage maybe for raids or something like that. And if she's in a situation where she doesn't have a lot of AP left over, this is probably what you would want her to use. Ready to Pursue is her strongest buff by far, raising her slash and missile resistance for 3 turns, giving her the armature effect similar to Noctis, while also bestowing a universal barrier for magic and physical damage. Extremely powerful, definitely helps keep her alive. And with this buff on, it puts her in a situation to where you don't have to be afraid of her being next to your tank. She can handle the AoE, she'll be fine. Although it's not the strongest armature effect in the game, it is definitely stronger than Noctis's. It doesn't rely on anything but her physical attack. Scourge is a really good skill, mainly for PvE, just for inflicting slow, maybe on a raid boss or something like that. It's just another skill that you'd rather have and not need. The only thing I can say about Life Siphon and Scourge is that maybe if you're on a smaller map, try to be cautious of the teams that you're going against and where their tank is. Looking at her main sub job, the only reason why I would even run Break Launch or Spatial Shot is if I'm trying to run her as a disabler. Spatial Shot can lower attack and magic, while Break Launch can disable. Viking, in my opinion, is definitely her weakest sub job. There's nothing in here really all that good. You could possibly use Killing Axe for the Man-Eater, and if you don't have any TMRs to raise Bravery, she does have Warcry to raise her own. But in general, this is just a sub job I stay away from. I can't recommend it. And in my opinion, her best sub job, Sniper. She gets Arm Shot, which can inflict a disable. She also has Dispel Spread, which is probably the best skill in Sniper, and being able to remove all buffs from a group of people is definitely nothing to scoff at. Armor 1 is actually a pretty decent skill, raising slash resist pin, and it will do this before it lands the 3 hits, and then afterwards it will lower lightning resistance. So it's definitely something you would want to use in a raid. I wouldn't even say turn it off. Chances are she's going to prioritize the other skills, and if she does use this, I mean, it's going to be one hell of a setup for the next person who hits. As far as her support abilities go, I'll only be talking about 3 of them because I only find 3 of them relevant. Mark of the LC raises her agility and her defense pin. Definitely really important for her. You want her to try to be as fast as possible, but you don't necessarily need her to be the fastest person on your team. Viking lore, in my opinion, pairs very well with Ready to Pursue, giving her more HP, making her a little bit more bruisery. But I feel like if I were building an accuracy build, I would definitely want to go with Sniper Mastery. Since she doesn't have any guaranteed hits, any kind of amount of luck you can get would be huge for her. But typically with my build, I just avoid evade teams, and I go straight for as much attack and HP as I can possibly get, because when it comes to accuracy, you're going to need a lot of parts to make it a functioning build. Counter Siphon is the only counter ability that I can really recommend. The Preemptive Strike can be absolutely deadly, and it recovers her own AP. One of the things I will warn about Counter Siphon is that if your teammate is in between you and the enemy, this can proc and actually hit one of your teammates, so you have to be kind of careful about that. As for her master ability, the main thing to look at is own AP consumption minus 15%. You'll see that there's this ongoing theme with Lightning. She has a lot of ways of gaining AP. She's truly somebody who will never need bells. Think about Noctis's TMR, or maybe Oldoa's. She also has her own card called Odin's Chosen. I feel like it's really important for her as far as PvP goes, giving AoE resist and other things for survivability, but mainly because of the accuracy. When it comes to PvP, I generally find it easier to run her in the middle using Cloud and Charlotte. Charlotte generally is always going to be slower than Lightning, and she has that innate hate that no matter what position I put her in, Lightning will run to her. I run my Cloud to have extra move, that way he can have access to Lightning. He is faster than her, this also keeps him back. After her first cast, she will move back to Cloud and then cast Relentless Assault on him, and then he will go into an AP AP restore. This keeps Lightning back and she will go directly into ready to pursue. And also having Charlotte on the team alters where the enemy is going to go, so that way they're heading more toward her and not necessarily encouraging Lightning to attack. Using this setup will keep her behind both her teammates, and by the time she's ready to attack, she should have plenty of AP, so you won't have any problems with that. Lightning herself is an excellent unit, very strong, and with a proper setup, she can be a monster. The only thing is that she's going to rely on ramp up time. She needs time to get her buffs off, so if you're facing a team that's maybe rushing or anything like that, it's best to just go with a tank, somebody that can aggro, shift the team a certain way that you want them to be shifted, and give her that space to not have to immediately go into life siphon or anything like that. As far as PvE goes, that is the only way I would actually recommend giving her bells, especially in a raid situation. Lightning, in my opinion, is definitely in my top 5 as far as overall Final Fantasy characters. She's always been a real badass to me, a really good female protagonist, and I feel like Square Enix did a really good job of making her unique in this game. But aside from that, that's all I really have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy.